All right, from episode 3, Tether. You know, this episode, I mean, it definitely had some moments, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I didn't feel like there was a ton that happened to discuss. Like, there's things to discuss, and don't worry, we'll talk. But this was one where we had like 5 minutes left, and I was like, dude, something better happened.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't have a lot to say yet.
Yeah. It was I don't want to say slower, but I guess that would be the best way to describe it. A slower episode than
It's
the
just
first
uneventful.
two. More uneventful, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, stuff happened. So,
It did.
yeah, let's get into it. I did watch a Suns game in between this, and
Yes.
my brain is completely on that at the moment. So, let's see what I can remember of this episode, since my head is so still in that game. Okay. So, of course, as expected, and I don't see why we would need to see Jim rescued. Right? He's just out.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So we jump ahead. He's out. You know, something I was telling Kaylee, you know, and I think this is just to speed things along and whatever, but it does kind of cut down on the believability to me a bit, where the people who just got there on the bus, I said this in the other episode reviews that we've discussed, but like, someone needs to take them in a circle a couple times, or even give them a van and be like, all right, go ahead, you know, try to get out, you know, because I just feel like, because Kayla's like, oh, well, what about the monsters? They heard them and they were dead. And I'm like, that could have just been other humans in on it, you know. Now, this could just be some big cult that does this to people to brainwash them into their cult.
That'd be terrifying. I do think it could still happen. Like the hothead guy, I could totally see him stealing a car to try and leave. And,
sure, but the fact that nobody's asked
it's
for a little more proof,
right?
I don't know.
I mean, really, I would just say that the fact that they heard people dying, like, they're scared and they're believing it. But I agree. I think that, like, you would want proof if you were in that situation.
Especially the hothead guy.
Yeah,
I would
but that's why I think that
say,
he is probably going to try and leave and find out that he can't. So.
Sure, but I just think that should have happened this episode, right? That would have added something to this episode. His name's Randall.
Randall.
Yeah, so there's his name. And he was in Slasher. I don't know if it was that new season or not, but man, we're not into that one. In case anyone was wondering why we didn't do the new Slasher season, bro, one episode and we were done. Or did we watch 2?
We watched 1.
Just 1, yeah. We were just not into it.
Yeah.
Okay. I can say that I definitely am not a fan of Mary, the fiancée. I'm just like, I get that she's upset, and like, I totally understand to a degree what's going on with her, but it's like, do you not understand the situation at hand here?
Yeah.
Like, do you really think your fiance, like, is at all responsible for not getting home to you? And then when, you know, she's clearly the only medical professional there, and they're like coming in and being like, there's an emergency, you gotta come right now, and she's like the doctor of the town.
Yeah.
And she's like mad that she's leaving, and it's like, you know, don't date an EMT or a doctor or anybody in the medical profession
if you're gonna be mad,
who's on duty,
yeah,
or even off duty, and they get an emergency call to save someone's life potentially, and you're like, no, it's about me.
Right.
Like, no, you clearly don't know your fiance at all, and look at you literally just spent the night in a town where they're telling you that monsters are attacking the town every night, and she cannot leave.
Yeah.
So the only excuse she has to have here is that she doesn't believe what's happening is true, because if she is like buying in to this predicament where they're literally in some kind of limbo loop, and she's still mad at her, like, I can't get a call out.
Yeah.
I can't leave.
Right.
What exactly is it that you would like me to have done? And I feel like she should be pushing back on that, telling her what's up.
She might in the future.
She hasn't
episodes,
yet.
But I mean, yeah, she just, the only excuse she has is that she doesn't believe the scenario. Because that, I think, is the only reason that you would be acting that way. Because obviously, like, she was trapped there, which is why she never came back. But it also sounded, there was one line, I think, that she said that made me think that they were having some issues before. As well. Not that that's like an excuse or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know that their relationship was perfect, so there might have been some, because there are some issues, like, that would have led her to believe that maybe, like, she, like, bailed on me or something like that. So.
But no, that's not an excuse. You're talking about a literal, like, freaking fantasy scenario, the impossible.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't matter what happened before. You can't be mad at me when I'm stuck in some kind of nightmarish impossibility that I can't get home to you.
Sure,
because the laws of reality don't exist where I'm at.
Yeah, it's super unfair.
I don't know, man. I think that Christy needs to be real firm with her and be like, listen, I need you to shut the fuck up. Like, are you not understanding what's happening here?
Yeah.
And I feel like the only reason Chrissy might not be saying that is because she feels slightly guilty for what she's been doing with Mr. Deputy.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I mean, definitely she feels guilty. But it's like, she's just, I mean, she's been falling for him, you know, because they're both trapped in this situation. So, which makes sense. Of course you would be making human connections with people if you thought you were never going to get out again, like...
Sure.
Yeah. But I'm sure feels guilty because she also never thought she would see her fiance again. So now that her fiance is here, which it's jumping a little bit, but later in the episode when she meets Jim and is telling him that, you know, she's a nurse or whatever. And, oh wait, maybe I'm misremembering this. Is it? Yeah. Before she meets Jim, sorry, it's the older woman that's talking to him that's like, she's like such a weird coincidence, like the fiance is here, and Jim obviously takes notice of that, so there's totally something around the fact that they are together again.
So I mean, what this episode is, you know, really putting forth here is that there are no coincidences.
Yeah.
Right? Boyd comes and he's like, the couple's name were their first names are the same name put together as the kid that I watched die when an IED friggin' hit our, you know, Jeep in Afghanistan. And it's like, or was it Iraq?
Weird.
I think was it Iraq or Afghanistan?
I don't remember.
Whichever. But I am just, that's really it. I mean, that's like some of the big takeaways from this episode is that, you know, and this isn't anything new to us as far as the, you know, them knowing each other, fiance thing. We had already said, and we talked about it pretty extensively in the last, maybe 2 episodes ago, or this episode. I don't remember what it was, but whatever it was, it was like, this can't be a coincidence. Like, they brought them there. Now, there's another kid, Elgin, who, you know, has had these visions, and there is something in that lake.
Yeah,
there's something they gotta dive down and get something out of the bottom of that lake. Right? There's something in there, maybe a portal wormhole thing that takes you somewhere else, or some kind of something. Something's in that water. There's no reason to bring them there. There's the obvious. Okay, this is 100%. There's something with the lake. Yes. My guess is that there's something in the lake. But because I don't know what else it could really be other than like,
he just recognized
it. How you, sure, but I don't know. He could have recognized anything. Like, I've seen this house before or something. Yeah. For it to specifically be a new location to us. Yeah. Right? That has to have some significance to it. Like, if they're going to make him have, you know, is there like, is there a house up on this hill that looks like this? And then they come over and she's like, how could you have known that? You know, something like that. Stuff we already know. But to introduce a new location. I don't remember ever seeing this lake.
We did see it.
Oh, we
yeah,
did?
we did
Okay.
see it a few times. It's not totally
Few times?
I thought it was a few times.
Oh,
but
wow.
We definitely
I'm
went
misremembering
there.
it completely.
Maybe it was just once. I don't know. I remembered it
Oh,
though because
wait, they took the daughter
girl,
there.
Yeah.
I do remember that now. Last season.
Yeah. So, but that's
It was like
okay.
the
It's
hangout.
still I agree
Regardless,
with you.
there's something in there.
I think there probably is. There's something to do with that water. And
He needs some gillyweed.
Yeah, he does. The whole like Brian Kelly, like the name thing and like the coincidences that aren't coincidences definitely is very like dream logic in a way, you know, so which obviously Boyd's wife was, you know, convinced that it was all just a dream. So that definitely has me curious because I think that there is going to be, I don't know that they're all dreaming necessarily, but I think I had speculated that maybe they're like all in, like in the cell, like they're all like sharing dreams or something, which I guess would be them dreaming, but I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Sure, I mean it's possible for sure. He's gonna dive down there and see them all like on machines, dreaming.
Freaking yeah, just like the Matrix.
No,
they're all like
I mean,
plugged in.
You're right. So as I had said, the bar people were, you know, I was like, they're not dead, or at least one of them, and I was like, probably the woman, is still alive. She was.
She was.
She was.
Kind of, yeah.
Now, this scene is interesting because really mostly what we get out of it is just pure fucking horror, like torture, awfulness for us to watch. It's just some real sweet, nice girl who's trapped in a horrible situation. She's dragged out into the woods by monsters who pin her freaking head to a tree and make her watch them tear her boyfriend apart. Now, there's no indication of her boyfriend being torn apart there.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't like find his body, They didn't find blood or anything in that area, which I found odd. Now, it is possible they made her watch somewhere else, then drug her over there and stabbed her through the head. It's possible that they made her watch and then Sarah stabbed her through the head.
Sure.
You know, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the point of that was, other than to illustrate how monstrous these monsters are already. We already know they're bad.
We do already know they're bad, and this behavior is like weird though, that they would, you know, we haven't seen them, I don't think, at least I don't remember seeing them do anything that was so like sadistic, like I'm gonna make you watch. So when we saw her, I thought that Sarah was the one that like attacked her.
Yeah.
That at least another human did, just because she wasn't disemboweled or anything. So if the monsters are really like thinking in that way, like I want to emotionally and mentally torture you too, which I guess it would make sense. But it's very new. So I don't know. I don't really know what to make of that. I don't know that I 100% think that it was the monsters that did it still. I'm still kind of like on the fence about it because it just seems so out of character for them, yeah.
I agree for sure with that doesn't meet their MO.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not only do they not torture people in front of other people, now, they do like to toy with people.
Yes.
Right? They do smile,
but that's
and
they're
they're unsettling.
Inside, not when they're outside. Like, when they're outside, they like talk to you for like a second just to get you close enough, and then they just eat you and kill you.
So I do wonder if, because this chick died of a head injury and wasn't disemboweled and had her heart ripped out and everything, that she may become one of the monsters. Like, there has to be, you know, maybe the reason they rip their heart and shit out is for some reason, because it's a very specific thing they do.
Yeah.
They always take your insides.
Yeah.
Now, that could be something Jeepers Creepers like, where they need to like ingest your organs and stuff to like replenish theirs or some shit. I doubt. Well, I shouldn't say I doubt
It's
it.
possible.
It's possible,
Yeah.
but like maybe if you don't die from that way, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, Boyd shot his
I was
wife,
just gonna say,
and she doesn't die that way, and Boyd is the one who technically kills her
right.
by pulling the thing out.
Yeah.
The bar or whatever the hell, rebar I think is maybe what it is. So I don't know. I don't. There has to be some kind of reason for this other than it's just horrible, right? Like
I agree.
That's the only thing to take away from that scene is just really freaking sad.
It's super sad, and I agree with you. I think that there's some other purpose to it, especially because we didn't find her boyfriend's body and stuff, and like I don't know. There's a lot of questions I think left unanswered with her. So
Yeah.
I feel like there will be more to come. Whether
Because
we
they don't
see
even
her
find his
again.
body.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Did you? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But that's what I mean. Like there's no.
Yeah.
Like they would have at least come across his body, like the leftovers.
100%.
So the fact that they haven't even seen that, I don't know. It just definitely makes me wonder what else could be there with her.
I can't imagine why she'd be lying, right?
No, I don't
or
think she's
misremembering or anything, right? Like, I mean, she was compromised.
Yeah.
She did take, a rod through the brain.
Yeah.
But she was like, specifically, they made me watch, right? So, like, they didn't find his body. And typically, when a character doesn't die and you don't find their body in a movie
Yeah.
or a TV show, they're alive. But I can't see any reason why she would be mistaken
Right.
or lying.
Yeah.
So he's got to be dead, but where the hell's his body? Because they don't take bodies,
No, they don't.
right? They
just
always
them.
leave them behind.
Yeah.
So why haven't they found his body yet? I'm sure they'll just find his body, right?
Probably.
Like
We're
in an
probably
episode.
thinking way too much about
Sure.
it. There's gonna be like nothing, but it definitely was something that we were just like, what is going on with all
Because
this?
we've never seen this done before by them. To
Right.
pin someone to a freaking tree and not disembowel her, to
Yeah.
leave her alive in a state of misery,
Yeah.
and then to like a body is completely missing and nowhere to be found
Right.
is just not like them.
Yeah.
So it's worth mentioning that there might be a reason
Yeah.
why this is different, but I can't really think of one
Me
that
either.
makes any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, what benefit, what happens, like, from them doing it like this, right? Because we saw, and I don't know how often they kill pairs, but like outside of is it the police department? You've got that one couple who Fatima is trying to like help,
Right. The couple on
and
the
they were a
bus.
couple, and they didn't like kill them. Although we didn't see them die, so maybe they tortured the other one in front of the other one. But I think the way they found their bodies, we didn't see their bodies, so maybe they don't always disembowel. But every single body we've ever seen
'cause they
before.
Said that they found. I thought that was what Donna said. Was that they found like 3 people or whatever.
Yeah, but she didn't say how they died.
But it would have been 4 people because there should have been 2 on the bus. I don't know.
There's-
Yeah.
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 Ew, I don't know. There's 2 on the bus. There was 2 behind the van.
Yeah.
There was one guy in the woods and his girlfriend who is, still alive for this,
Right.
till the end of the episode. So yeah, you're right. They should have had 4. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, they only found 3 because she said there's 25 people on the bus and there's 22 alive. How does that make sense?
I don't know.
That actually makes no sense because at that point they wouldn't have located the bar people.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have been able to account for them. But I
Yeah.
guess she was just counting down on the number of bodies found. Right? And she should have probably mentioned there's like 3 people missing still that haven't been accounted for, and we're down to 19 people that we currently know the whereabouts of.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, that's confusing.
that is a little confusing. If they were out that night and they are not being accounted for, you would assume they're dead.
Right.
So you would say 3 dead, 3 presumed dead, and 19 still within, our vicinity that we can account for. So
It's weird.
I don't know. Donna is just saying we found 3 bodies and there's 22 left.
Yeah.
Right? Until we find more dead bodies, we can't say.
Yeah, 3 so far.
So we're just complicating that for whatever. But yeah, Kenny and Ellis coming across, and it sucks too, because Ellis is like, he asks Fatima to marry him this episode, and he's gathering flowers, and it's supposed to be all sweet, and then he runs into like the saddest shit ever.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. And that whole thing, I mean, it's just, as I said, like, we didn't really gain anything from those scenes. I had guessed that Boyd was going to come in and, accidentally or purposely get some of his blood and her blood or something, and it was going to save her somehow.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that this is another one, credit to my father on this one. He said it before. I don't know if I would have thought of it or not, but regardless, he said it. So it was, he thinks that Boyd's Parkinson's will now be cured.
Yeah.
I just feel like he would have noticed by now and mentioned it.
Yeah.
But I guess not. I don't know, but
he's had a lot going on.
He hasn't been shaking that I noticed in the episode.
No, he hasn't been, and
so his blood could be like a cure, but also
possibly.
poison.
But he wouldn't have noticed it, so he wouldn't have known. But obviously, he doesn't give her.
I feel like if
blood.
you had Parkinson's and your hands were shaking and stuff, like they're always shaking, right? Like you're always shaking.
I don't know. Maybe in the beginning stages, there's I mean, it can't be all the time in the beginning, but I have no idea. I don't know anything about it.
So it comes in spells.
That's what I would guess, but I have no clue.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if that was the case, then maybe Boyd, is cured of his Parkinson's. Because as I said, I think that he's now become a vessel for the guy that was chained to the wall. I think he got too old and he passed it on to Boyd, but that still remains to be seen. So yeah, the Christy, Kenny, Ellis, Boyd, getting together and ultimately executing that girl.
Yeah.
Which she said she was hearing stuff.
Yeah, she was like, "Do you hear that?" And then she just started screaming, and I don't know if that was like the pain finally.
She could have been having visions.
She could have been. It would have been nice to know what she was hearing, but.
Yeah, sure.
But she was like, "Do you hear that?" As Boyd walked up, is what she said too. So I'm also like wondering if there's something with his blood.
Sure.
Like if she heard him approaching.
Close to death, you can tune in on it better.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Like Yellow Jackets.
Right. Yeah. I have no idea what she heard, but.
I mean, I think it's obvious at this point. We have no idea.
Yes.
On everything we say.
Yeah.
We're just guessing here, man. You got a little stuff going on with Jade in this episode. He's playing a violin and talks to Victor as he comes and he grabs his freaking thing back, and then they have a little confrontation out on the street.
Yep.
Right? So, did you take anything from that scene that you...
No. Not really. I mean, like...
What was their conversation about? What did he say?
Conversation. Jade wanted to know, like, the photo. He was confronting him about the photo and was like, this is you.
This is you.
Like, what's going on with this? And Victor just did not want to talk about it.
He kind of just pushed away.
I don't know. I don't know why Victor wouldn't want to.
Because he doesn't like him and he stole his shit.
I mean, you're right. That's why. But I think that Jade's going to probably enlist the son, Ellis. He's probably going to enlist his help to talk to Victor again.
Oh, the son of Jim and...
Oh, not Ellis, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the son of Boyd.
The little boy, who I forget his name.
Ethan,
that's what I thought, actually. I think that Jade and Ethan are going to probably have to team up to talk to Victor. And I have to go get the dog before he eats cat food.
Uh-oh. So, yeah, I mean... And then... Did you get him?
I got him, sorry.
It's alright.
Shut these doors.
And then... trying to think of anything else besides the ending. I already said the proposal. Mm-hmm. We got the fight between the couple. Mm-hmm.
Really isn't a lot. I mean,
no.
It's not a boring episode or anything. It just is kind of like, it feels like it's just setting the stage for more, like everybody's like settling in after the craziness of the first couple episodes.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
And what happened at the end?
The very end was that Sarah showed up.
Oh, right.
That's like the big thing.
Yeah.
So.
But she's just
that she's there.
Yeah, she's just down in the basement.
Right.
So it's
she's just back. So
she's just
like,
back. We had speculated like where the hell is she?
Right.
Right, and thought maybe she'd be here or there.
Maybe she'd be at the lighthouse or whatever, but she's just back. So we'll see what we learn about her.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping that we get like a flashback
I do too.
to what happened to her after Boyd disappeared. Did she follow him into the tree? Right, and it took her somewhere else? Did it take her to that basement and she's just been there the whole time?
Yeah.
Or are we going to see that she's the one that stabbed that girl through the head?
Right.
Right? Like that kind of stuff. Because she wouldn't. I mean, the monsters look human. Mm-hmm. Right? So if Sarah came out of the woods and thought she was a monster.
Yeah.
But they were holding the girl down the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. Maybe they just stuck her through the head. And that's what held her in place. But you would think the monsters would be at least somewhat intelligent enough to know that the odds of her surviving that to stick her into place so she could watch her low.
Yeah, unless they could see exactly where they needed to do that, I suppose. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that it would be them. I don't think it's the monsters.
I mean, it could be in the sense of like, we're going to take you now that you've watched over here and stick you to a tree to kill you. But it's, as I said, it doesn't mean they're MO of hollowing her out. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but and yeah. So Jim has got some broken ribs. He's checking the emergency exit sign. I think this is probably in relation to his wife coming and saying the wires aren't plugged in anywhere.
Right. That's what I thought too.
Right, because I don't know what else he'd be up there for.
I didn't know either. I just assumed he was looking, but I don't know why he would check that.
Well, it's good as anything because you can see that electricity is coming to it right in that moment.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So, like, where is it coming from? Yeah. But obviously, he can't move. I've cracked ribs. I can attest. That is some serious shit. So, yeah. And then, like, anything else? I know Julie has a couple lines, but I don't remember them being really anything interesting. Randall has to put away his rifle, right? That's really it. As I said, this is it's a very uneventful episode in the sense of like talking about it. Like things happen and we discuss them, but
none of them are like, they're not like major things, I suppose.
No. Definitely not. The girl who was stuck to the tree, Kelly. I was trying to place her throughout, and I was like, "Who is she? I've seen her. She is the sister in Kids vs. Aliens."
Oh. Okay.
So that's
cool.
that.
What's that?
Sorry if this one wasn't as informative or interesting or cool, but I don't know. We had a couple
of things.
Theories.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want from us, okay?
All right. Okay.
So, until next week, guys, we'll see you then. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you got anything else, we missed something. We could have, as I said.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like,
it's possible.
I'm still in Phoenix right now.
Mode.
Yeah. 2-2. 2 more games to the Western Conference. Nobody cares. All right, guys. Bye.